Hey guys, this is JRPG Console with, unfortunately, a bad news kind of update. And what this likely means is, once this bill becomes official law, I'm probably not going to be able to upload any videos to my channel anymore because we're going to have to deal with some bullshit criteria of what's considered Canadian or not, which is stupid, by the way. And user-generated content is back on the menu for being regulated. So, unfortunately, it's been a short ride, and I didn't think that I was going to be able to grow my channel and redeem myself because of this situation. But now that it's basically confirmed that Bill C-11 is likely going to pass through law, I'm not going to upload any videos if I have to follow some criteria of the CRTC. I'm not fucking doing it. Okay? I'm not going to do that bullshit. And it doesn't matter if I go to BitChute or Rumble. It doesn't matter where you go because they're eventually going to force every platform to go along with this bullshit that is Bill C-11. See, our politics are so fucking bad right now. Like, this is just unacceptable. This really is. I know I used to talk to a lot of people over the years with numerous channels, and they kept complaining about, our freedom of speech and all that stuff's being stripped away and all that stuff. You know what I have to say to that? At least you kind of still have freedom of speech and expression in the United States. We effectively don't have freedom of speech after this fiasco that's going to happen in Canada. Our rights, our Bill of Constitutional of Canada might as well be used as fucking toilet paper at this point. So I'm going to read, and, I guess if you want to comment, that's fine, but all I'm going to basically say is, after this fully becomes law and all this criteria is implemented, I'm not going to upload any more videos to my channel. My channel is effectively dead. I'll still comment and interact with everybody that I know on my channel, but as far as uploading actual content, that's sadly going to go in the garbage because, the Liberal government is tired of getting their fifis hurt. Anyways, after taking weeks to consider the sentence changes to the Liberals' contentious online streaming legislation known as Bill C-11, Canadian Heritage Minister Pablo Rodriguez confirmed he's rejecting several of the amendments made, which the Liberals are poised to accept the majority of legislation adjustments made in the upper chamber during its long ever-studied piece of government legislation. They are turning down a few of the 7 Senate's more consequential changes and suggestions further tweaks to others. This means Bill C-11 may be heading for a legislative showdown. The long languishing legislation is aimed at substantially updating Canada's Broadcasting Act regime for the first time since 1991 to ensure social media and giants like TikTok and Netflix are subjected to Canadian content requirements and regulations compared to traditional broadcasters. While many in the CanCon music, film, and television industries are backing the proposal, which is fucking stupid, they shouldn't be doing that, Bill C-11 has been the subject of heavy scrutiny from industry stakeholders, content creators, and opposing MPs who fear it will result in censoring what content gets seen online. Rodriguez outlined which of the 26 amendments to 12 clauses the Liberals will be allowing. The federal government's response was then debated by MPs in the House of Commons on Wednesday evening, with likely more debate ahead. If the take some and leave some approach is accepted, Bill C-11 will pass and soon become law, allowing the CRTC to get to work on implementing the coinciding regulatory changes granting the new powers. But should the Senate seek to stand its ground on certain changes, the amendments may become subject of procedural ping-pong between the two chambers. Which I'm going to be honest with you, with the Senate, look how many people in the Senate in general voted for Bill C-11 to pass compared to who's opposed. So I'm really not hopeful the Senate's going to really battle the House of Commons over the changes. They're probably just going to let it slide and let the changes go through. But who knows? Maybe the Senate will surprise me somehow, which I doubt. Yeah, I don't have any faith in the Senate or our current government right now because they've shown how corrupt they are. Oh yeah, and there was that situation where apparently a court judge ruled that the Emergency Act was justified. So there you go. There's more slap in the face to our constitutional freedoms, ladies and gentlemen, in Canada. But anyways, I want to thank the senators for all their work on a very important bill. This is a bill that spent the most time in Senate in the history of Canada. There's been a whole lot of debate, and we're accepting a vast majority of the Senate amendments, but some that could create a loophole we're not accepting. So, how is not allowing the CRTC to not regulate user-generated content, how is that a loophole exactly? He doesn't explain it. So, what amendments are being rejected? Among the Senate changes being turned down or respectfully disagreed with per the official notice provided to Parliament is the attempt for senators to impose age verification methods on certain content. Now, I'm okay with this amendment being rejected. Honestly, this should have never been snuck into the bill in the first place. It was a completely ridiculous constitutional violation of your privacy. Not that it matters anyway, because any visual content you probably going to watch is going to be monitored anyway, so this really doesn't relieve any size or, I hate to say it, this doesn't alleviate my anxiety. Let me just put it to you that way. Rodriguez said this proposal is passed over because it seeks to legislate matters in the broadcasting system which is beyond the policy. Which makes sense. You know, there should be a separate debate on how to protect children from online sexual content, okay? I think many people will agree with this. But we're going to keep reading. This was also a reason to seek changes the way CBC handles advising content. I don't care about that. Another amendment, here's the big one. Another amendment hitting the cutting room floor was aimed at further instilling protections for user-generated content. This change was brought forward by senators after numerous witnesses expressed concerns that the new Canadian content requirements would have a knock-on effect for content posted on platforms such as YouTube by individual creators, something the Liberals continue to deny. This change is being declined, Rodriguez said, because it would impact the government's ability to publicly consult on. Let me just facepalm right there. Publicly consult on. And issue a policy direction to CRC to appropriately scope the regulation of social media services. So basically, we don't give a shit about your concerns. We don't care about your freedom of speech or your rights. So we're just going to basically give you a middle finger and say, fuck you. We don't care about your rights, which is a big problem. All right. Other amendments are being rejected due to liberal concerns that they would cause interpretive issues. Interpreted? What? Interpreted? Or could impact the CRTC's ability to impose conditions around the diversity of programming. What diverse programming? Excuse me, why do you think nobody wants to watch TV anymore? And they're gonna force this shit online? This is fucking ridiculous. As for what changes the House is willing to accept, the Liberals are backing efforts from the Senate to ensure platforms are minding of promoting and reflecting diversity, including indigenous language, and instilling protections around the new category of online broadcasts referred to in the bill as undertakings. Okay, that doesn't really alleviate any concerns whatsoever. What's being said about Bill C-11 as it stands? Asked whether he's bracing for the federal government's response to the Senate changes to spark a standoff, Government House Leader Mark Harlan said no, because the Liberals' approach has the backing of Bloc Québécois and the NDP, and because there's been productive dialogue with the Senate. All I'm going to say that is, on amendments accepted. Reacting to Rodriguez's mixed response to the Senate changes, advocacy group for Canadian content creators Digital First Canada called it a slap in the face to the creators who spoke up and participated in this process, and to the senators who recognized these creators as the future of Canada's digital economy. In a statement, Digital First Canada Director Scott Benzie called for MPs to push back and save the Senate amendment regarding afford these lawyers and take the Liberal government to court over the Constitution's being violated, because this is what Bill C-11 really is. Don't let this bullshit of, oh, we're trying to diverse Canadian culture. That's a hoax. People already know the truth. Bill C-11 in reality is a truth to silence anyone or anything they feel is a threat to their integrity, because we've been criticizing the Liberal government for almost half a decade now. We've been saying how terrible and corrupt they are. This is more proof right here that this is happening. So all I'm going to say is, yeah, I'm going to plan to get some kind of thing to spoof my location, because I'm not going to allow the CRTC to dictate to me what I can and cannot watch anywhere on the internet. And that's something they need to realize, okay? Look at China. You think that Great Firewall is going to censor everybody from trying to find out the truth? That's not going to fucking work. There's already certain VPN companies that are finding workarounds for China's censorship wall. You think you're gonna suppress freedom of flow of information here in Canada? All I can say to the Canadian government, good luck trying to do that, because it's ultimately gonna come back and hit you square in the face. And I'm talking literally, not physically, by the way. I just want to point that out. So, yeah. Canada is pretty much fucked right now.